Hey guys, so I would like to talk about more data compression today. It's called XBW, encode and decode. So let's look at what XBW is. So, for example, there's an exercise that I actually did like a few days ago, and this exercise is about this tree. So how do I actually convert this tree, compress this tree to a smaller size? Imagine this, all the uppercase letters that represent the parent nodes, and all the lowercase letters represent the leaf nodes. First of all, we need to do a pre-order traversal of this whole tree. So in case you don't know what the pre-order traversal is, I simply just put the from the root node C here. I go down from the left to B, and B to D, D to C. Because C is the leaf node here, so I go back to D. And there's another leaf node of under the D, so I go to A. A is the leaf node. There's no more. There's nowhere else to go, so I just go back D. Nowhere else to go, so I go back B. And then there's a leaf node of B, so I go to C. And then I go back B, and then go back C. So I pretty much traverse all those, this whole branch here, under the root node of C. And then I traverse the second branch here to A, B, A, D, C, B, D, B, A, and so on. So pretty much that's the way of a pre-order traversal. So first of all, we need to just look at this path. So this path means how many parent nodes, or what's the path of the parent nodes of this current node. For example, C here. We don't have any parent nodes of C, so we simply just put the none here. And then for B, I got one C as a parent node. For D, I got BC as a parent node, so I just put BC here. For C, I got DBC as the path, all the way to the root. So now you can see I have this column. And the next thing I would like to do is to make sure that I can distinguish this node simply by their positions. What do we mean by that? So we create another column here, which is called last node. That means the last node of every layer, every subtree. For example, this layer, the last node will be C, because this is the only node of this layer. And the second layer, the last node will be B here. For the third layer, there are 3 branches. So for each branch, this is the last node of this branch, this is the last node of this branch, and this is the last node of this branch. And for the fourth layer, those 3 are the last node of each branch. For all those last node, I would like to put a 1 here. So for example, C is the last node, so I put 1. A actually comes from DBC, so I can just find DBC here. So that means this is the A that we were talking about. Not this A, but this A. So I just simply put a 1 here because it's the last node. As you can see, I put all the 1 here as a last node, and the rest of the nodes should be 0. The next step we need to do is sort based on the path, this column. So sort simply by its lexical order. So you can imagine this none as a $sign or something. It should be smaller than all of those. So the root node should be always the first index. As we can see, after we sort this, you can kind of see a block here because all of those path, this path means we actually from this branch, AC, right? So under this AC, we actually got this BAD. This BAD is actually the leaf nodes of this A, right? And then AC, this path. As you can see here, BC, the BC here will be they actually have like DA here, so DA will be here, DC will be this BC. So basically they got two BC, but they're actually from a different branch. So how do we actually distinguish those? We can actually make it as a block. For example, this AC will be one block. So BAD will be within this block. So next thing we need to do is just make the block. For example, this BC and this BC, as I just said, should be different. So make it as two different blocks. So how do we distinguish that without this tree? I mean, we pretty much just distinguish that based on the 0 and 1 that we previously assigned. The 1 here means the last node, the 1 here means last node. So whenever we see the 1, we know that's the block. Whenever we see the 1, we know this is the block. And we see 1, this one is the block. This one is the block. Eventually, we only have these two columns. We can simply just get rid of this column because it consumes too much space, and we don't need that for decoding either. So simply just store these two columns. The next thing we'd like to do is to decode these two columns back to the tree. Simply just based on these two columns, how do we actually decode back to the tree? Okay, the first thing we would like to do is to make sure that I have this column as a supplementary column that actually help me decode for decoding. And as we actually see here, when we sort the path based on the lexical order, we know that it should be in order, right? So from A to B to C and D. So simply just put all A here. I know this will be the first node, so I just put the none here as a root node, and then we can see that how many A's here? There's only one A, so I put it in the first block. How many B's here? There are two B's here, so I'll put the first B as a first block and the second B as a second block. How many C's here? We only have one C, one uppercase C. So I just put it into this block. How many D's? We actually got 1, 2, 3, 3 D here. So we simply just put one block, two block, three block. So 3 different blocks. The next thing we would like to do is to actually convert back to the tree, right? So the first thing we would do is to put the root node C. Simply just put the root node here. There's nothing we can do. And the next thing, because there's only one root node, we can just look for this column. There's only one C here, and this is only within this block. So we know that those 3 within this block should be the leaf nodes of this C. So I put these 3 nodes under this C. The next thing we would like to do is to expand this B node. But there are 2 B nodes here. Right? There are two nodes. How do we know which one is the first B? So as we can see, this B node, the root node of this B node is C, and this should be the first B of this column. So I look for the first B of this column, so that I'll know this is the first block of B, this is the second block of B, so this should be B that we are looking for, and then refer back to the leaf nodes here. So we know that for this B, we know the leaf nodes of this B should be D and C, so put D and C here. The next step we'd like to do is to convert to derive the parent node here or the parent node here. It doesn't really matter, so I'll just start from here. And there's only one A here in this table, so we know that it's always this A. So simply just put these three nodes here. The next thing we would like to do is to derive the second B. We go through this column and we know, oh, this is the second B. So I go through this column to find the second block of B node, and then refer back to the leaf nodes here. So we know that under this B, the leaf node should be D and A. So now we got three more parent nodes to go. So there are 3 Ds. So there are a total of 3 Ds here. So how do we know which D is which one? First of all, we refer back to the B. So the parent node of this D should be B, right? So as we can see here, the parent node of this D is B. So note that it should be here, should be this D, should be the second D of this column. Not this D. This D is the parent node of this is A, so it should be this D. So this D should be the second D of this column. And I go to this column and I find the second block of D here. I refer back to the leaf nodes, so I find the leaf nodes of this D should be C and A. The next thing we need to do is to find the parent node of this D should be A. Like I said, should be this D. And then we go through this column, find out that this D should be the first D of this column. So I go here and I find the first block of D here. And then refer back to the leaf node. It should be the only leaf node that the D has, which is C. And the very last D should be the third D of this column. So I find out this should be the third block of D here. I refer back to the leaf node B, so simply just put the B here. At the end of the day, we actually we actually decode it back to the tree, and we can actually compare this original tree should be exactly the same. So that's the XML compression, which using the XBW for both encoding and decoding. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching.